Good afternoon, friends, and welcome. I'll be sharing live trades and results with you. We'll be evaluating how well these trades work out. We'll be benchmarking this against the S&P 500. I'm expecting to be outperforming it every month. Along the way, I'll also be sharing some lessons I've learned about investments, trading, and building wealth. And of course, the mandatory disclaimer. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be interpreted as advice. And with that, let's get into it. Well, welcome to trade number 7 of 2024. It doesn't look so good here. As you can see on our last trade, we took a bit of a loss. And that was super unfortunate because we're doing some things that we don't like to do. We're buying at a higher price. We sold here, we're buying at a higher price, and then we're selling off again at a lower price. And look what happened the next day. As I mentioned, our trades, we actually closed on this day here at the end of the day. Afterwards, it shows up as the next day, but you can see what happened on the next day. There was a fairly sizable gap up and a pretty tall candle there. And we were out of the market and missed that entire chunk. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. So here's the big question. We're sitting here after a big gap up. What's the right play here? Adam tends to try and look for a lower price and something that looks a little different than other days. So you can see there was, gapped up and fell the next day, continued to fall. This possibly is a reasonable entry, possibly. But certainly as it's falling, this starts looking better and better. But the reason we got out over here is we think it's potentially going to be a falling market. Is that the case? Sometimes, but not necessarily in this one. And it started to run again. And, another big candle. So we're sitting, pretty well out of the market here this whole time. But on this particular day, there was a little bit of a gap down. And, looks like we're losing momentum here a little bit of a gap down and a pretty big drop, pretty big fall, and then a close here. So Adam is going to go ahead and decide to go in at this point. So you can watch our trade go in, and you can see that by the blue line that shows the price that we're trying to get. And this trade took a little bit of time to actually complete, as the price was moving quite a bit toward the, after hours. I mentioned that we usually trade right around 4 o'clock. So it's after hours trading. We're going to be using a limit order. That's the only way that you can do it. And we're trying to wait or adjust our price to get this to close. And eventually it does close, and trade number 7 is on. Well, here's what happened the next day. The market went up a little bit, continued to run the following day. It's up, it's down. It's really not going anywhere much, but it's definitely on a little bit of a roller coaster ride here. So on the 15th of March, 2024, it looks like a very similar sort of exit as last time, although this time we're going to end up making a little bit of profit. You can see here's our entry price. Here's the price we're going to take an exit. But Adam is going to go ahead and decide to get out. And you can watch that order go in live here again. And trade number 7 is over. Let's head over to the tracking sheet and see how we're doing. Well, trade number 7 did make us a little bit of money, but as you saw, we missed out quite a bit. We were out of the market on that first day where the market took off a bit. So that trade closed on the 15th of March. The S&P 500 was at 509, still an excellent performance for the S&P 500. It picked up 2.5%, bringing its year-to-date return to 7.26. We picked up 1.29%. That brings our return to 6.14. We actually are losing a little bit of ground. We're almost trailing by about 1%. Am I worried? I'm a little concerned. Adam and I are going to have a little sit down and see if we can come up with a little better strategy here. But I also know last year we were behind until about March. So, if we're within 1% or 2, it's not too bad. If we start really trailing, I'll be very concerned. But that brings our year-to-date totaled to 6.14 when we're trading versus buying and holding the S&P 500, which is 7.26. So we do not like it at all. The only good news is it's only about 1% or so. And on our 3-year, 4-year, I guess now 4-year charts, you can see where we're at too. So that's the end of trade number 7. We're going to hope we're going to do a little better on our next trade, but I have to tell you, the market's been very unpredictable. It's been very strong, but it's been sort of a roller coaster ride as it moves up. That makes trading it very difficult. If it's, making big swings up and down and we're sort of not in sync with them, it makes things very difficult. But let's see how we do on the next trade, and we'll catch you next time. That's it for today. How do you think we're doing? Please comment below and let me know how this compares to other investments you've seen. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only and should not be taken or interpreted as advice. Until next time.